I'm here at Fleet Services in Hampshire. Plenty of Tesla superchargers here. There's some V3s being installed down the road. And I'm here for an interview with a good friend of mine called Paul Hawkins of GB News, the news broadcaster in the UK. And it's a conversation about electric cars.
Yes, a very good morning to you. As well as that cut in VAT on street charging for electric vehicles that Fair Charge are calling for, they also want the government to provide more incentives for the likes of you and me to buy an electric vehicle, and also to put in place the infrastructure. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders reckons that we need 1.9 million more charging points in the UK by 2030. That's the deadline for when the government will stop the new sales of petrol and diesel cars. That's going to cost about £17.6 billion. They reckon at the moment the government for this year, 2021-22, they've only given £20 million for grants for on-street charging. So they're calling for more investment, more infrastructure, and there is also a call on manufacturers to harmonise their standards. We can speak now to David Gates, business director, who's making the transition from petrol and diesel cars, I should say, to electric vehicles. David, thanks for speaking to us on GB News. First of all, you've put in an order for a new Tesla. Other electric vehicles are available. Why do you want to change from petrol and diesel to electric?
As a business owner at the moment, it's a tax efficient way of the structure of paying for a car through tax for a business. I also have 2030 in mind. I'm looking at changing before we get to something that's going to be a panic. And I think that at the moment we're at a tipping point where the infrastructure is slowly getting there, and we can look forward to having a life where I can do adventure, business and family travel with an electric car.
Yeah. We know it's greener, but it's also going to save you some money.
It should save you money, yeah, because predominantly you're charging your car at home. And if you wake up every morning, you've got a full charge of car rather than having to go to the petrol station, and you've paid for it in a tax-efficient way overnight, you've got a full tank of electricity. And you only really use these supercharging networks and charging networks when you're on the road on long trips. Most of the Tesla that I'll be buying has a 300-mile range, and it does get affected by weather and different things. But these are all the learning things we're going to have to learn about electric cars, because it is a big change.
Yeah, and a big change for many people who they can't afford a Tesla. You know, we're talking about what, £30,000 for a Tesla. What's the lower end that people will be looking at?
Well, you're looking at Teslas start probably more around £50,000. You do have a £5,000 grant to buy an electric car, but it pales in significance to the cost of a car. Even the not so affordable cars, such as the Renault Zoe, are still more expensive than their equivalent petrol or diesel cars. And it's because the tipping point hasn't yet come. You know, we need to get to the point where the infrastructure is in place for everyone to do it. As you know, like on-street parking is a big issue because a lot of people live in flats. I have a driveway, so I'm lucky I can install a rapid charging charger, and I don't have any anxiety about that. And I'll be travelling across Europe with the car, and I know, looking at one of the reasons for buying the Tesla is these superchargers are brilliant. But as a Tesla, you can use all of the charging network. Yeah. Whereas, as we found out this morning, there was a non-Tesla car that turned up here, tried to use the Tesla superchargers, and couldn't use it.
Yeah, he couldn't. And he actually pointed out that the problem with his car was that when his wife uses it, the manufacturer had only enabled the car to be charged by him, so she has to phone him to get him to then enable the. So there's little things like that manufacturers need to work on, as well as governments.
Yeah, there's a plethora of different things that electric cars will throw at consumers that we haven't experienced with diesel or petrol cars. I've started a vlog to explain some of these things. I think YouTube's a great resource these days, and I want to provide basically independent reviews and guides how to use electric cars, because I think you're going to need a dummies edition of electric cars to get through the transition.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn about the technology and about the cost, and at the moment it's for the middle classes at the moment, isn't it?
I think it's for businesses driving it at the moment, because of what I explained earlier. I think it's getting to the point now that you can start to afford leasing these cars. So leasing is, more people are leasing cars these days, and it's much more affordable to be able to do that than buying cars outright. And I imagine the majority of electric cars will be leased in the future.
But we're going to have to go fast if we're going to get to 2030 when there's going to be no more new petrol or diesel cars.
Absolutely. I travel internationally, and I travel in places like Holland and Italy, Germany. Places like Holland, the Netherlands, are far more advanced than us at the moment. It's a much smaller country. They've got much better infrastructure than us. Yeah. But the government have prioritised it. Norway, almost every new car bought is an electric car, mainly Teslas at the moment, because they've invested in it. And the government is investing in it, but it needs huge amounts of investment from now on. And some of that will come from taxation of electric cars as they go from low taxation cars to high taxation cars. But again, that's like a tipping point that we're going to have to get to.
Yeah. So just a reminder, you got your YouTube channel. You're going to be vlogging about your journey, metaphorically and literally, from petrol and diesel to electric. Yeah,
I've called it Tesla Journey UK, and it's on YouTube now, and the videos are going to be live soon.
Great, lovely. David, thank you. David Gates there, who's going to be blogging on YouTube about his journey from petrol and diesel to electric, a journey that eventually all of us are going to have to make.